Hey, you guys, it's Denise Walsh here. I am back from vacation and here to chat with you again on the Coaching for Coaches podcast. The idea here, you guys, is that leaders need to be led, coaches need to be coached, and you are in a position where you are impacting people every single day. Whether you are in real estate or you're a network marketing leader or you're just interested in helping people grow. Maybe you're in the helping professions too. Needless to say, wherever you are in your journey, you get to be fed too. And that's what this podcast is all about. My goal here is to create a space where growth happens, where you get to be kind of met where you are, but yet you don't stay there because we're always learning and growing. So today we're going to talk about something I call Leadership 2.0. Leadership 2.0 really is the essence of what creates a culture that wins. And this is really important because I've been in leadership. I've had really great leaders and I've had really poor leaders, and it impacts and trickles down into the entire organization. And so today, whether you're a coach and you're creating a community, whether you are in network marketing and you've got a team, wherever you are, I truly believe that the lessons we're going to talk about today are going to kind of give you new brain cells with this element of leadership. All right, so before I dive in, I want you to win. So be sure to comment your name, where you're from, aha moments you have along the way as we chat together, because I am going to pull from the comments and have somebody win a Dream Life Journal and an action tracker, because I want you not only to keep yourself in your own game, but to actually achieve it too. All right, let's dive in. So for those of you that don't know, I'm a clinical psychologist, and then I happened to step into entrepreneurship. I was a leader in network marketing for about 15 years. And what I found is that the same skills that supported my journey as a clinical psychologist, working in the mental health field, helping people grow, helping people heal, helping people hit their goals, they don't come to see a therapist on a good day. You know what I mean? Usually they're coming to see me when they're at a rock bottom or they're in a pivot point and they're like, all right, life needs to be different. I can't handle it anymore. Okay. Well, guess what? Most people don't join a network marketing company because life's awesome. I mean, maybe they're just bored, but usually they join for a reason. They are ready for extra income. They want to get out of debt. They want a positive community. They're like, if I'm going to have a hobby, I might as well make money. Like, there's a reason why they joined. The skills that I learned in my clinical psychology world I was able to easily transfer them into my network marketing world. And I truly believe it's what helped me to create a community of growth. This was a community where people stayed. Why? Because not only are they making money, they felt believed, seen, heard, entrusted, believed in this community. People will stay because they feel like they're a part of something bigger than themselves, that they've got friends and connection, right? Yeah, I'll notice when you're gone. But also when they're learning new skills, they feel safe. They feel like they can plant their roots and their guard comes down and they really start to grow. And that's what we created in my network marketing company. And that's what we create here at Dream Life Coaching. And I want to kind of tease it out for you because I've been told, oh my gosh, this is so different than other coaching programs I've been in. Or, oh my gosh, the way you have this set up. And to me, it's innate. So I've had to really look back and go, why do I do the things I do? And why is this successful? And why do people truly feel and experience growth here? And I figured it out. I figured it out. But what we know, right, is that most coaches are like surface level leadership. They build communities around inspiration and motivation. So maybe they're saying like, woohoo, rah, rah, let's do it. They're a big cheerleader, but they're not actually engaging in transformation, which is a heart issue, right? So if we want to create a community that truly changes people's lives, we need to understand what drives human behavior, which is why I love the psychology of leadership content, because it truly is creating that space for growth. This is the psychology of growth, and I call it Leadership 201 because this is not just your step into leadership. This is more advanced content that those who are leaders need so that people stay in their organization. And this is the framework that we're going to work through. It's called Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And I'll talk through that in a minute. So what is growth-centered community? A growth-centered community isn't around just this hype or being a cheerleader, okay? It's built around safety, belonging, and purpose. Okay, I'm going to say that again. It's about safety, belonging, and purpose. It's a space where people aren't just inspired, but yet they're supported through the discomfort of growth, and they're not judged for it. I'm like, I need to pause for emphasis. Here's the distinction. A motivational community tells people what's possible. The growth-centered community walks beside them as they make it happen, without judgment, without shame. As a leader and a coach, it's our job to create an environment where people move up the ladder of transformation and not just feel good about being on the ladder, where they actually see real change. But there's a way that we make this happen. This isn't just on accident. Let's revisit Maslow's hierarchy of needs. In fact, for our coaching corner call tonight that I'm doing with all of our coaches, we're going to talk through this hierarchy of needs and how and why we can utilize this in our coaching. So the base of this triangle or pyramid is physiological. This is our basic survival need. Now, you guys, if somebody does not have basic survival needs, food, rest, safety, then the others are bunk. Like, you can't grow if you don't have food, if you don't feel safe, if you are, I think about when I used to work with inner city foster kids, I'm like, of course they're angry and mad. Like, they're starving and they don't have anyone to turn to if they have a hard day because their home life is chaotic, Like, their basic survival needs needed to be met first before we could move up the chain. All right. So step 1, basic survival needs. Step 2, feeling secure, stable, and protected. Number 2 is, do I have a place to go if I need help? Do I have someone that I can rely on? Do I have people in my corner who believe in me? Feeling secure and stable. Again, you can have food, but if you're living in, the chaos of addiction and you never know which dad you're going to get when they come home, you're not safe. You don't feel safe. You're walking on eggshells. And that's going to impact everything else. So number 3 is love and belonging, connection, community, and acceptance. So this is, I love you because of who you are. And I love you because you're already awesome. Not because of who you need to be or you suck now and someday I'll love you. No, and we think about this as parents too, right? Our basic survival needs, feeling stable and secure. Do I love you because of who you already are? That's where growth happens, you guys. Growth does not happen when you take somebody to a jail and you scare them. What is that old thing they used to do? I'm going to scare you straight. No, I don't believe in that. I truly, truly don't. Because I don't think people grow out of fear. I think they grow because they already feel safe enough to do so. 4 is your self-esteem, recognition, achievement, self-respect. Again, this is you feeling accomplished doing something. And again, that builds personal self-esteem. And then 5 is self-actualization, fulfillment, purpose, full potential. So most of the people that are stepping into our teams or stepping into our coaching program, usually if you live in the States, if you're in, a first world country of some sort, you've got your basic survival needs and your safety secure. You're usually not, being chased by a saber-toothed tiger anymore or have to go find your own food. Like, usually most people that step into our communities are going to have 1 or 2 already figured out. And so we get to, as leaders, truly focus on love and belonging, self-esteem, and self-actualization. Okay? In coaching and leadership, we often try to inspire people towards self-actualization before they feel safe or connected. People cannot grow if they don't first feel safe. And this just is so important to leadership because I think most people who consider themselves leaders are more of a red personality. If you know the color personalities, the red is like, get it done, no excuses, take action, no matter how you feel. It's that masculine energy of winning is the only option. And believe me, I've got some competitive spirit in me. But what I know as somebody who's been working with humans for 20 years is that people don't grow, learn new skills, take chances if they don't first feel safe, which is why leadership is less about charisma and dancing on the table and being, the loudest person in the room. And it's really more about creating psychological safety where people feel seen, heard, and valued enough to stretch into new levels. This is so key. So let's walk through how we can incorporate Maslow's hierarchy of needs into leadership. So level 1 is safety. Guys, I just did a podcast with my friend Tammy, and she was like, I love how you don't let people take over the conversation. You're really structured and allows people like her who would just let other people talk a chance to actually talk. And there's a method to the madness, right? And I said, here's what I know. If I start on time, I end on time, and we have a similar flow throughout our 90-day U-turn experience, you're going to know what to expect. And as somebody steps into our programs and they know what to expect, they are going to feel safe. They're not going to need to know, are we going to be late? Are we going to go over? Is Sally going to talk for 20 minutes again? You know what I mean? People know what to expect. They don't have to think about it. They just show up, and this is a safe place to learn, share, and make mistakes. So there's these clear group agreements, which starts with me. If I don't start on time and I don't end on time, then they're not going to believe that time is an important part of the program. That's part of the boundaries that we have. This is how things work around here. And as the leader, it's my job to say, this is how things work around here. Okay. And so that safety, I think, is a really important piece that most people don't think about. If you're going to, and this could be cultural as well. For example, we just joined a company that most of their distributors and corporate are all Hispanic, and I'm like, I think their culture is to start 15 minutes late. But as an American, I'm like, okay, if you say you're going to start at 2, start at 2. But I think it's, again, just really interesting to think about how your container gives people the space to know what to expect, and because they know what to expect, their guard goes down because they don't have to think about what's going to happen today. Okay, so level 2, belonging. How do we create genuine connection within our company, within our team, within our coaching program, and encourage peer-to-peer support, not just top-down teaching? So this is really, again, why I think 90-day U-turn and Dream Life coaching, chef's kiss, right? Because it's not just me being like, I'm the leader and you need to listen to me, and if you don't, you're wrong. A lot of what we do in our community is say, what do you think? Has anyone else experienced something like that? Tell us what you went through. And this creates this model of authenticity and encourage sharing, vulnerability, where we're all on the same level. This is not a I know and you don't type of situation. This is a we're doing life together situation, and we all have value to add. And so let's hear your value too. Number 3, esteem. So how as coaches can we create a community where it builds people's confidence? Number 1, wins and acknowledgement. Network marketing does this amazing. And I think if we're going to do a coaching program, or you're coaching with people, we need to have ways and reasons to give them wins and acknowledgement. So we want to recognize effort publicly, which means we need to know what they're doing. If you have habit trackers, or you are having people track their business growth, we need to know that so then we can celebrate them. And I think this is where relationship happens. If I, as a leader, don't know what you're doing, I cannot publicly recognize you. But if I know what you're doing on a daily basis, if I hear, oh my gosh, you just signed 3 clients, or oh my gosh, you just did, your program launch, or oh my gosh, you just signed up 3 distributors and here's how. If I know that, then I can publicly recognize you. And I if I don't know that, so as a leader, it's my job to know that. You know what I mean? And when I was in network marketing, I would create layered leadership. So I would say, let's just say my sister, she was a leader on my team. I'd be like, all right, Lisa, who are your leaders and what are they doing? And so I taught her that she needed to know that too. So then I could publicly recognize them, not because I talked to them every day, but because she did, and she gave me that feedback. This is a really important one that I do think people miss because they are not in their leadership. They don't know their people, right? They just are, I don't know. They don't have real relationships. Tell me if you think this is important. I'd really love to hear in the comments. All right, level 4. How as a coach can we create a level 4, which is self-actualization? So once our community feels safe, connected, and confident, then we can stretch them into purpose, leadership, and expansion. So taking better risks, messaging people, posting a party, doing an expo, getting outside our comfort zone by actually doing our business. If you're in coaching and you're in the certification and business program, right? We launch your business together. We help come up with a plan. We hold you accountable. We celebrate your wins. Because when you feel safe, you're now apt to take more action. And this is how you create a community of where people evolve, not just engage. They're actually seeing growth. Leadership isn't about being the loudest or the most inspiring in the room. It's about being the safest nervous system in the room. When you lead from that grounded confidence, you regulate the group's energy and you help them move from fear into safety, from survival into growth. And that's what makes a community truly transformational. It's not the content, it's the container. Your people will only grow to the level that they feel safe to. So if you're a coach, you can apply this not only to your group program, but to your one-on-one clients, right? If you're a network marketing leader, you can use this within your team. Does my team feel emotionally safe to be honest? Do they feel like they belong? Will I notice if they don't show up? And instead of saying, why didn't you show up? I say, hey, we missed you tonight. Am I recognizing their progress? Do I know their progress because I know them? Have I helped them connect their work to purpose? When you lead through this hierarchy, you meet clients where they are and then help them climb towards their full potential. This is Leadership 201, creating the environment to catalyst transformation. Wow, this excites me because I think that if we can create this in our families, think about the safe, confident, regulated children we'll be raising. If we can do this in our workplaces, think about the healthy adults we will be around. And if we can do this in our teams, think about the success that people will have. Not because we're awesome, right? But because the community is awesome, because the container is awesome, because the content is awesome. And it allows people that space to grow. Growth-centered communities prioritize safety, belonging, esteem, and purpose. Maslow's hierarchy of needs reminds us that people can't grow without safety and connection first. Leadership isn't just about hype. It's about creating the conditions for transformation. If this conversation lit something up for you like it does for me, then you are the kind of leader who doesn't just want to inspire them, but you want to transform them. And it's time that you become a Dream Life certified coach, because this is not only where I teach you how to coach, right? Powerfully transformative exercises that you can utilize immediately with your team or clients, but it's also how to lead, how to be that nervous, the nervous system centered that your team and clients need, utilizing psychology, neuroscience, and heart-centered strategy. We have a new round starting this Wednesday in just 2 days, and we'd love to invite you into it. Comment coach below if you're interested in becoming a Dream Life coach, where you not only are going to learn the skills for yourself, but you're also going to learn how you can duplicate this with your team and clients. Your job isn't to lead loudly, it's to lead safely. And that's where transformation begins. I'd love to work with you. Thank you so much for being here. I go live each and every Monday at 2 p.m. Be sure to, put notifications on in this group, Become a Dream Life Coach group. If you are listening on YouTube or any podcast player, so glad to have you here. I'm going to link the group below so you can listen in live and have the chance to win a Dream Life Journal and an action tracker. Needless to say, you guys, you're here because that restless feeling keeps stirring in you, and it will until you begin taking action on it. And that's what I get to support you with. Have an amazing day. We'll see you same time, same place next week.